For today's topics, I'm going to be talking about truth and the song of the week, which is Baby It's Cold Outside, and my learnings for the week. So let's start off with the truth part. So it's interesting, there's a lot of movies that have they'll have someone singing in this movie, and I always wonder, are they actually singing or is it dubbed with someone else's voice? And there are some movies where I know, like Reese Witherspoon spoke in or sang in Walk the Line, and then Bradley Cooper sang in a in another movie. The name escaped me for the moment. But you do have celebrities who do learn to sing, and of course, it, the other movie that was about Bob Dylan that also had the celebrity who sung. Why can't I think of anybody's name today? But it's Saturday, and apparently I need more coffee. I guess the point is that there's a lot of some celebrities will sing and some celebrities don't. But I think sometimes, we watch movies and we think, wow, everybody can sing, and it's just not the case. So I was watching a recent movie, and it was a holiday movie on Netflix called My Secret Santa, and the movie is really cute. It's a nice, I guess, a feel good kind of movie, and Ryan Eggold is in the movie, and he's playing guitar and singing, and I just kind of thought to myself, is he really playing guitar? Does he really sing? And so I did some research and discovered that he does actually sing, and he was singing in the movie. And then I looked up the other person in the movie. The female character was Alexandra Breckenridge. And I thought, I wonder if she really sang. And so then I did some research on that and discovered that no, she didn't actually sing. She did play the guitar in the movie for real, but she did not sing. And I kind of noticed immediately when I watched the movie a second time how when you hear the difference between somebody who's really singing and not, you could really tell the difference. And I just found it interesting. And I think when I talk about this week's topic, which is truth, that sometimes what you see is not really what's going on. And so I think as musicians, you need to remember that not everyone is going to be perfect, and not everybody can sing like that. And a lot of times it's somebody else singing. And if I think back, historically, there have been artists who didn't actually sing, like Milli Vanilli is a great example of they were good on stage, but couldn't sing. And so think about that in terms of, what you see in a film or hear in a film isn't really reality. And there was another case today where there was a video of a man singing, and he was singing a Creedence Clearwater Revival song, and people were commenting, "What a great voice!" And I thought to myself, they're not singing; it's just an AI created person singing or looking like they're singing with the original Creedence Clearwater Revival song in the background. And I think, I was able to quickly recognize it, but a lot of people just didn't even clue in that, like, this isn't even a real person, it's fake. So yeah, just keep an eye out for that, and think about that as you go forward in your musical journey, because you can't have these expectations that you're going to look perfect and sing perfect. It's just not realistic, and it's not the reality. So let's move on to the things that I learned this week. I was practicing some songs that use the chords G, D, E minor, and C. And I had done a video last week on another song where I did a short tutorial about how to sing the song, and it had those chords. And so then this week I said, well, let me take another song with the same chords. And it was nice because it was easy to play the chords, but I still had to learn the vocals, which is a little bit different. The melody is going to be different than the chords. So you still have quite a bit of learning to do. And I did feel like more comfortable in that. I even thought to myself, okay, so I could pick up my guitar, and if I can remember the words, I know the 4 chords, I can just play the 4 chords and just have to remember the word part. And that seemed a bit empowering. So think about that as you're starting to practice different songs, that while each song is unique, if you can find a few songs that are kind of similar, you can learn the pattern, and then and you'll be off and running, and you'll feel a lot more comfortable. And another thing, I was thinking about the fact that I'm coming up on my 1-year anniversary of actually starting with guitar. And that was one of these reasons for sort of focusing this week on kind of looking at the progress, looking back. And this is always kind of a good time of year to do that, to look back and see what you've improved and how things have changed. And so I'll encourage you to look back on your last year, and maybe if you did play guitar or you didn't play guitar, or if you're thinking about like what's next, think about what you did in this last year and the progress that you made. Because when you look over at week to week, it might not look that much, but if you look back 6 months, or if you look back for the whole year, it makes a huge difference. And for me, like at this time last year, I had 0 guitar, and now I can play, record songs, maybe write some songs. And so that to me is a huge difference. And the other thing I want to talk about, the practice, as far as learnings go, I thought about how I have songs that I just enjoy playing. And so it's nice to have those that you can just play versus having songs that you need to spend a lot of time practicing certain chords that you're not used to, or learning certain order of chords. And so those can be more tiring. And so I think it's nice to have a bit of a mix where you have some songs you're like, oh, okay, I can just pick this up and play it now. And that's more relaxing, but then still also have these elements of songs that, you can try out and take on. So the next thing I wanted to do is talk about, I forgot the most funny part for the lessons learned. We had a short power outage this week, and I was like, what am I going to do? And then I just said, it's a good time to practice guitar, because it was about 3 o'clock or 4 o'clock. So it wasn't fully dark yet. So I could still see the music that I had, or, pull it out on my iPad or something, even without the electricity, or just use, the printed out sheets that I had. And so that was kind of fun to like suddenly, now I have time to play, because there's nothing else I can really do, and I can just focus on that for a bit. So that was something I thought, as we're in the winter months and you get more storms, it's a good time to, pull out the guitar and play while while you're waiting for the power or internet or what have you to come back on. So let's talk about now the third thing for the week, which is the song of the week. And for the song of the week, I don't know, I have a couple songs from last year that I had picked out as like holiday songs, and one of them was Baby It's Cold Outside. And, I had practiced it last year, and I think I can't remember if I even played it on ukulele last year. Is probably what I started with. And this song was written by Frank Lesser, and I did some research. It was written in 1944, and he and his wife, Frank Lesser, and his wife, Lynn Garland, had sung the song as a duet. And the song really didn't become popular until 1949 in a movie called Neptune's Daughter. And, it's kind of strange, because if you think about, this is a song from 1944, 49, when it became popular, and then you look at those same words today, you may look at that differently. And I understand there was some controversy about some people didn't like this particular song because of the words. But I think, a lot of songs are written for the time period, like also books. If you think about, any of Jane Austen books, they were written for a particular time. And you have to think about that when you're reading the book, or in this case, listening to a song, that it had a certain time period in mind, and that things were different then. And so I really appreciate the song. I think it's more of a cute song. I just didn't really think it needed to warranted that much controversy. My favorite version of the song is actually Zoe Deschanel's version that she sang. I think she sang it in the movie Elf. If you haven't seen that movie this season, that's always a nice one, and you get a little bit of music in it too. And so, yeah, so my song analysis here is that you can look at the words, but what I really like is the sort of the melody of the song. I really appreciate that. And yeah, so I don't know. I'd be interested if you could share in the comments your favorite holiday song, whether it's a New Year's song, a song about snow, Santa, or what have you. I think they're all great. Or like even Adam Sandler's Hanukkah song. This is also good. So any song that you want to share for the holidays, I would love to hear what those are. So that's my update for this week. I hope you all have a great holiday week for those who are celebrating. And if you're not celebrating, enjoy the extra time off and maybe get some more guitar practice in. And if you're thinking of doing some practice in the next few days, maybe pick some holiday songs that you can have fun with your family singing and practicing. All right. Well, have a great rest of your day. Take care.